1 year ago, this deck was dominating ladder, but now nobody plays it. Let's see if it can come back in 2025. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Game Panda. Today we are playing some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and today we are playing as Jaden Yubel. So you guys know exactly what that means. We are playing Eternal Bond Yubel Neos deck. Now, this is my take on a Yubel Neos deck. It has so many different staples. It's almost basically a fully 100% competitive deck that was fantastic back in 2024, but now it's midway through 2025 and almost nobody ever plays this deck. So we're gonna see if today if Yubel Neos can come back in 2025 and still compete with all these hit the yellow button decks. Now don't get me wrong, this was the start of that trend where you just hit the yellow button and it basically does everything for you, but it's not up to that point yet. So let's go ahead and show you guys what's in this deck. So we have one Neos Wiseman. Basically, he's just there if our Neos Kluger gets destroyed. Wiseman gets summoned for free, 3,000 attack point monster. It's pretty decent just to have. 3 Yubels, because of course we need Yubel. That's what the fusion is based off of. We have an Effect Veiler, one singular one. If you want to add a second one, you can just get rid of like a Wall Disruption or a Mirror Force, which we'll get into later. But since we have Forbidden Lance here, getting rid of our spell and trap card weaknesses, we can use Effect Veiler to get rid of monster effects. Next up, we got 2 Kiteroids. Because this deck does rely on fusion and the skill quite a bit, if we don't have Yubel or Neos in our hand, Kiteroid is really nice to have just so that way we can survive at least one turn. Next up, we got 3 Elemental Hero Neoses because of course we got 2 MSTs, 2 Forbidden Lances. As I mentioned earlier, Effect Veiler deals with monster effects, while Forbidden Lance will deal with spell and trap card negation. Next up, we have our fusion cards here. So I have 3 Neos fusions. You could use 3 Neos fusions if you wanted to, but I decided to go with 2 just because we have these other elemental hero monsters in our extra deck, so we need a way of special summoning them. Neos fusion only works if they have Elemental Hero Neos as a material. So if you have some extra monsters that use Elemental Hero Neos as a material, go ahead, use 3 Neos fusions and you should be good. Since I'm only using 2, we're going to run 1 Polymerization, and then we have just some basic trap cards here with Mirror Force and 2 Wall of Disruption. For our extra deck, we are running, of course, these are the ones that are basically necessary for this deck: 1 Elemental Hero Brave Neos and 2 Elemental Hero Neos Klugers. Kluggers, I don't know, we're going with Klugers. I'm also running 1 Elemental Hero The Shining. Here's Johnny! So he basically is there if we have Wiseman and Neos, or if we have 2 Neoses, so that way we can actually do something if our opponent has some monsters out there and we don't have Kiteroid. Great Tornado is there if we have a Kiteroid and we have Elemental Hero Neos and we can maybe go for the win there, or if we just want to use his effect, he will work for that as well. We also have an Elemental Hero Core who uses 3 Elemental Heroes. So if we have a bunch of Neoses and a Wiseman, or if we have all 3 Neoses, then this is the guy that we pull out. He also has a nice little removal effect of being able to destroy a monster on the field if this card battled. And then if he gets destroyed, we can go ahead and special summon 1 level 8 or lower fusion monster from our graveyard. So that will most likely be Brave Neos. We also have Vision Hero Adoration, which just uses 2 hero monsters. Again, just a backup. And then the same thing with Elemental Hero Skiriato, that's where we're going to go with. If we've used up 2 of our Klugers, then we have him as a backup because he uses a dark monster, which will be Yubel. So Yubel and Neos come together to make this guy. And then of course the skill that we're running is Eternal Bond. Basically we get to normal summon for free without tributing Elemental Hero Neos and Yubel. Then if we want to go the Yubel route, we can go ahead and play Yubel and then we let it evolve, or we can play the fusion route, which is the way that we're going to be going for the most part, where we get to normal summon a Yubel and then we get to add a Elemental Hero Neos or a Miracle Contact from outside of our deck. So it's really nice to have just to get that Miracle Contact if we don't have fusion already in our hand. So this is a click the yellow button deck, but not to the same extent as Dragonic Contract or any of those decks like that. It definitely started that trend, but it's not fully there yet. So Let's see if this deck can still keep up in 2025. All right, we got our first opponent here. We got Izzy playing in Bronze Rank 1, playing as a dual monster, Seto Kaiba. So honestly, we could be seeing anything, really. Not even playing a skill, so I'm assuming this is their first few duels in PvP. Let's see what we got. We got double Yubel, MST, Kiteroid. Honestly, not a terrible hand. We could definitely do better, of course. We do want to draw either a Neos or a Fusion card, especially if we want to use our skill here. If not, that's fine. Yubel can stall for a little bit if needed. Also, we have Kiteroid for stall as well. We also have MST to get rid of that set back row because we don't really care about Banner of Courage right now. So we get a Lance. Okay, Lance is interesting. We're gonna go ahead and activate our MST just right off the bat. Get rid of that trap card, whatever it may be. It was Darkfall. Okay, sure. We are then going to go ahead and normal summon our Yubel, activate our skill, and bring a Neos into our hand, because I feel like that might be the best way to go about this. Go ahead and bring a Neos into our hand, and then we can go from there. I am going to set Forbidden Lance just in case, so that way during our opponent's turn we can go ahead and activate it. Our opponent just goes ahead and normal summons. If I were him, just go into the attack phase, deal a bunch of damage, call it a day, and I would be left with 100 attack points, right? So I think we just have to activate Kiteroid once. That should be it. We don't need to activate Kiteroid on the smaller one. We'll let that one go through. And he just goes ahead and ends his turn. He doesn't even bother with the attack. Don't know why, but we can go ahead and set Mirror Force. We're going to go ahead and normal summon Yubel here. Then we can go ahead and activate our skill, grab ourselves a Miracle Contact, and then go ahead and activate that. Miracle Contact will get activated. We bring in let's just bring in a Kluger, just be simple with it. We will send the one on the field and the Neos in our hand back into our deck to summon Kluger right there. Go ahead, go for the attack on his big boy, because I don't want to really deal with that. Activate his effect. He takes half damage of the attack points, and then we go ahead, deal 1100. That's pretty good. It's pretty good for second turn. First turn wasn't ideal, obviously, but we still had stall. If I placed Yubel in defense position, it would have stalled for one turn, and then we had Kiteroid. Now he's got Sub-Terror Guru. That's perfectly fine, and then he's going to try and change us down to effect, to face down. Would have liked to have an effect veiler there. If we did, we would have been able to negate that. However, we don't have the effect veiler in our hand. With only running one, you know, that's what happened. I would like to run two and get rid of a second Wall of Disruption and just run one Wall of Disruption or two Wall of Disruptions, and that's about it. Opponent then goes ahead and surrenders. It's kind of unfortunate. I would have liked to show this off a little more. I think we're going to go for our second duel. So let's go ahead and go for one more duel. Alrighty, we got Marcos Gamer playing in Bronze Rank 5, playing as a Yami Yugi. Okay, so we again could be seeing basically anything. We are going first, which is alright. He's playing 30 and 8, okay, with unknown skill. That's great. Let's go ahead and set MST. Go ahead, normal summon Yubel, or Neos there. Go ahead, activate Eternal Bond. Grab ourselves a Fusion card, because why not? And then hopefully we either get a Yubel our next turn or we get a Polymerization. If we get a Polymerization, then we can bring in one of our other elemental heroes. If we get Yubel, we can go ahead and activate Miracle Contact, bring out our Kluger or whatever we might want to bring out and go from there.
A few moments later.
So our opponent goes ahead and activates Lightning Vortex. That's alright, I guess. Like, it's not great, but we are going to activate our MST, get rid of that other trap card that he's got there. What is it? It's Grave Robber's Retribution. I saw a Dark Magician girl in here, so is he playing Magicians? He could be playing Magicians. That's alright, I guess. This really sucks here, but I think we just have to activate Miracle Contact. Just go with it from here. We bring in our just regular Brave Neos, and then we go from there. Let's go ahead and actually just normal summon our regular Neos as well. Activate skill because we can. And then bring in another Miracle Contact because we essentially get infinite of those. We then go into our battle phase, go ahead, attack, and he doesn't seem like he's got anything, and that's going to take him out. Okay. So even though not a good starting hand, we didn't get Kluger out there, which is kind of unfortunate, but we were still able to win using other things, which is good. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know how consistent this deck is, just because we're trying to find out if this deck can still keep up we're going to play one more duel. One more duel in silver rank. Hopefully it works out. All right, we got Ian Mooney playing in silver rank 1. Please have a deck that's like a legit deck so that way we can actually try this out. He's playing as a Yami Yugi. We are going second, okay? He's playing with 24 and 8 Battle Chronicles. Battle Chronicles is, okay, playing a Blue Eyes deck. All right, that's interesting. We have Polymerization Yubel, so our first turn, we're going to get Kluger out there. We also have Forbidden Lance just to help us out a little bit if we needed. And he just sets a monster. I'm assuming White Stone of Ancients there. We're going to go ahead, activate our skill, normal summon Yubel, all that jazz. Bring in a elemental hero Neos. Go ahead, activate Polymerization. We don't want to activate Forbidden Lance quite yet. We're going to go ahead and bring in Kluger here just so we can deal a little bit of damage. And then we are going to set the rest of our stuff. Forbidden Lance here as well, because if this is a White Stone of Ancients, which it's not a White Stone of Ancients, okay? If it was, he would have been able to bring out a Blue Eyes. When he attacks, we go ahead and activate Forbidden Lance. Forbidden Lance causes him to lose 800 attack points. Or we could have activated Wall of Disruption, or however we want to go about that, depending on the number of monsters he summons. So now he's got a Dark Magician. That's weird. He's playing Blue Eyes Dark Magician mix. I mean, that was a thing for a little bit back when Battle Chronicles was like super popular, which was basically around the same time that Eternal Bond was super popular. But I guess this does focus on both. You can use it for both. Ooh, that's really unfortunate. That's not what you want to see there. What can we do? Let's just go ahead and activate Forbidden Lance just because he's already going to get rid of it, right? So we go ahead, activate it on their Dark Magician. They lose a little bit of attack points. Perfectly fine by us. And then let's see what he goes from there. He activates Secrets of Dark Magician. Yeah, I kind of expected that because now he gets to Fusion Summon. And then can he bring out... Oh, he used Chronicle Sorcerers and Dark Magician Girl. Okay, did not expect that one. But he still can't attack us. Alright, perfectly fine by me. I think at this point, what do I want to do at this point? I could normal summon Yubel if I wanted to, but I'm also tempted not to, just because I can finish this if I do my math correctly. I can't do math correctly, and this won't finish it. But it's going to deal quite a bit of damage there. So he's down to 750 life points. I don't see what else he could potentially do. I mean, this is somewhat of a legit deck. Obviously, he's not playing a perfect Dark Magician deck. If he was, he would have had Dark Magician Circle or Eternal Soul or something like that. But we're going to go ahead and activate our effect. He's not even going to get the attack off. Deal 1400 damage. He's done. He was going to be done either way. But I mean, that's 3 victories in a row. Even though they weren't necessarily the best duels, they weren't necessarily fantastic, I would say that this deck can still somewhat keep up. I would like to think that based off of how quickly we were being able to get out our ace monster being Kluger, or have any backups such as Brave Neos in that one duel, I feel like we should be able to keep up with some stronger decks. Even though this is one of the older ones in general, I think we might still be able to keep up and might be worth bringing back. So even if you don't have this built, maybe build it, see if you like how it plays. It does require a skill to basically run the entire thing, and you guys know how I feel about skill links. But if you already have this deck built, try it again, see how it works out higher up. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about this deck. Do you think if we faced off against a Dragana Contract or maybe a Utopia deck, do you think we would be able to keep up? But that's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.